Well, it's MOvember Day 2, and I've committed to doing a video every day on some sort of tip or tool that helps with mental health and well-being, and tonight I want to deal with anger and rage. I don't want to take a lot of time. I just want to get to a tool that you can use if you have a build-up of energy that when you have it you can't contain it, and it spills out either passively or aggressively onto people that you love or strangers in the street and gets you in trouble. I grew up in a household where anger wasn't expressed in a healthy way. It was dumped on others. It was done through sarcasm, belittling, humiliation, and physical abuse. It largely taught me to be afraid of conflict and has left me with the symptoms of complex post-traumatic stress as an adult. Now, largely when I was younger, I dealt with that with food, with sex, with drugs and alcohol. But as I got clean and sober, what happened is that those things that used to numb me out, now I was raw and yet had all these underlying symptoms and no skill set to deal functionally with how to be in my own skin. There was a book that I read in early recovery that helped me a lot, and I still think it's a good book on this subject, and it was called Facing the Fire, Learning to Express Anger Appropriately, written by an American author called John Lee. John's written many books in his career and is still writing, and I would suggest you look up johnleebooks.com, and John's available for consultations and sessions on this subject. But one of his tools that I saw him present, and I've used it with clients because I believe it's helpful and it's non-violent and it helps get anger and energy out, and therefore we take responsibility for it. I'll say up front that whenever I had to learn how to do angering, my own head told me this is a load of crap, what are we doing, you're crazy. And what I learned that resistance was, I don't want to lose control. I was the first child hero to this mentally ill mother who largely was a rageaholic, and I had to be close to her because I was enmeshed, and in that enmeshment I learned to sort of shut everything down. So I didn't want to bring stuff up. I just wanted to deny it, and the fact was, once I'd stopped eating it, sexing it and drugging it out of me, it was coming up, and so it had to be dealt with. So, you know, in treatment centres they used to have batakas and beat bits of foam, and I know that out of context that stuff seems crazy. Well, I'm just going to share this with you, and use it if you want to, and certainly don't if you don't. But I was one of those guys that did that bataka work. I was one of those therapists that help other people get it out, and it got it out in a healthy way. There is other techniques I use now to deal with the underlying issues, but in the meantime we've got to do that angering to get it out. And underneath that anger, it's interesting, or the rage, is the fear and the pain and the shame. And it's very interesting, once you let yourself just get this stuff up and out, what we find underneath. So the technique, keeping it short and sweet. Grab a towel. You kangaroo tail it. I don't know what you'd say outside of Australia, folks, but that's what we call it down under. And you just get it so you can hang on to it. Now what we want to do then is, if you can do this in the toilet at work, you can do it in your bedroom, you can do it largely completely silently. If you're home alone and you want to do it, then you can make as much noise as you need to. But the idea is you think about whatever's making you angry. What's the resentment? If it's historical, it might be back at mum, or a bully at school, or if it's right now, it might be a boss or someone that cut you off in the traffic, but it's just been the tip of the iceberg, the straw that breaks the camel's back. So you grab the towel, you twist it, you think about what it is, and in your mind you can say it, I'm angry at you, Dad, or I'm angry at that asshole that dropped me off in the traffic or cut me off, and you just squeeze. But the main thing is, get the energy out of your body, squeeze it, turn it, focus on the anger, let yourself feel it in all its ugliness and shadowness, and twist it and turn it, and largely you keep twisting until you can't twist it anymore, and be as tense as you can. Let your body try and tear it into two. Now the anger can also store itself in the throat, the jaw, so you might even want to bite down on it, scream into it. You do it for as long as you need to, and once you're done, once you can't hold it any longer, the idea then is to just drop it. Just throw it down and breathe. The anger would have got you into adrenaline, it would have got all the cortisol up. So now it's time to relax and breathe. And just breathe into your diaphragm, slow your heart rate down, and then start to work on what it is that you need now to relax yourself. For you guys in recovery, you might already have a bunch of affirmations, you might have the serenity prayer. Largely we'll look at how to do gratitudes throughout this month. But this technique, try it if you need to, because it's much better out in the towel than out in the lounge room, in front of the kids, in front of our spouse, on the street at the traffic lights. Better on the floor in the towel. So take care, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye.